What's up, it's Jeff here to discuss with you a topic I'm exquisitely passionate about. And Shaleia is unable to join me in this video. She is downstairs working on the latest multi-reading romance analysis for a client of ours. So she's passionately engaged in that. It's up to a 4 to 6 hour workload process for her to put together the reading and deliver the reading for a client. So she's down there working very busily on that, and this is a discussion that she and I had last night before bed. We're discussing some spiritual principles. We've been reading some Yogananda, some A Course in Miracles, some really good, rich spiritual material. And we're at a stage in our lives right now where we are just, revisiting all of our work and looking at it from a different perspective and saying, is every piece of this, is every facet on the right track? Is it in alignment with us? Are we in integrity here? And as we do that, we're coming full circle on our awareness, and we're getting a new perspective, and we're seeing, what is it that we're doing here between Twin Flame Ascension School and our YouTube channel and like Purpose Class and our book, and really what are we doing here for the planet, and is it in alignment? And as we look, at the bigger picture, we realize that, we call it Twin Flame Ascension School for a reason. And ascension is really the topic of the day today that I'd like to discuss with you. And I know I've done a video on this way back when, but I want to shoot another one from a new vantage point, and I think that it'd be advantageous for you, even if you wanted to watch the old one and see the similarities and see what, new awareness we're wrapping around this. Because that's what real teaching is about. You can get a school teacher who has the information on a piece of paper and just wants to, overlay that information in your brain so you can just get the answers, right? Just like a juxtaposition of information. You cram it into your brain, get it, spit it, forget it. So one of my high school teachers had it taught me. But that's not the kind of teaching that we offer. And some of the great spiritual teachers will tell you, repetition is an important part of the process for learning. Now, it's not like write 9,000, sentences on the board of this one thing. You might burn it into your mind, but really you're just going to traumatize yourself. And that's not real learning. Real learning is not trauma. Real learning is not a juxtaposition of information. Real learning is an imparting of love from one who knows and has to one who desires and receives. And Shaleia and I are people who know and have and lovingly and willingly offer and share. And we hope that you, as our student, as a passing learner, as someone who's curious, as a subscriber, as a deep student of our work, can lovingly receive and learn. And even if you just learn one little thing and you come back, years later, or even if you just, learn one little thing and you never come back, we love you and want to impart real learning for you. And part of that is this repetition. And it doesn't mean we don't have any new content and we ran out of stuff to say. It means that we're not complete with this until the whole learning has been completely imparted into your consciousness. Once you have it so well that you genuinely have the whole thing, you get to experience the result of having that whole thing, and you can then share it with others. It's like if, harmonious union was like an egg, and you get little pieces of the egg, but you could share those pieces, but until you have the whole egg, you're not going to have the baby chick that's going to be birthed from within that egg. And that's the real essence of what we want to share, is that baby chick that's birthed from within that egg, that harmonious union that you get to have and keep and enjoy, and it's delicious and it's juicy and it's perfect for you. So repetition is important, and we're going to revisit this topic of ascension again. So let's first ask the question, what is ascension? What is the ascension? The ascension's been happening since the beginning of time, the beginning of recorded history, the beginning of existence. Ascension can't help but happen. The ascension is simply an improvement of your condition, of the condition of your consciousness. An improvement of your condition of your consciousness is not, I traded all of my time and my energy and my good so that I could be rich. And now that I'm rich, I need to keep trading all those things to keep and maintain these riches. That's not actually an improvement of the human condition. You lost your freedom and you got wealth. You simply took some dirt from over here in the corner, you shoveled it under the rug, and you still have a dirty room. It's just under the rug. And you're like, well, at least it's not in the corner anymore, it's under the rug, and now I've got a freed up corner. That's not actually ascension. That's just bullshitting around. The ascension is, there's some dirt in the corner, I swept a little bit of it up into my dustpan, I disposed of it into its proper container, and now my room is just a little bit cleaner. Something real happened when you cleaned. Something real happens in your ascension process. The ascension is happening through our sciences all the time. This new miracle drug comes out and it's able to genuinely, dissolve a disease. And you take this and you feel better. Or, it's a miracle procedure, my arm is broken and you put it in a cast and your arm heals up. Well, that's great. Versus, I put it, I didn't know about the cast and now my arm is like this for the rest of my life. Oh crap, now you're deformed. Well, these are advances, these are, gross examples of the ascension. What the ascension looks like in your own individual consciousness is your human condition, the condition of your consciousness, genuinely improves. So you learned something new, you dissolved some sort of illusion that prevented you from your good, and now you get to experience that good. The ascension must happen for you to come into harmonious union with your twin flame. An ascension of your consciousness must happen in order for you to accurately recognize your twin flame from not knowing them. So that awareness is the ascension process occurring. And the ascension process occurs like this. You are currently experiencing, on at least some levels, a separation from your good. This sucks, I'm not very comfortable in my house, I'm cold, right? Well, you've got to improve your consciousness enough to turn up the heat, or have heat in your home, or invent the technology so you can have a heated home. Or go out and make enough money doing something that you enjoy to provide heat for your home. So this is one example. We'll keep going until the idea is really given here. So another example I can give is you're really cranky in love. Like you give your heart and then someone else gives it back, but you feel like you always get stabbed in the back. And relationship after relationship you get into, eventually they all kind of end in the same way. But you ascending through that, or you ascending your consciousness, means you recognize this is exactly what I did to create this situation. And now I resolve the problems in my consciousness that created that situation, and I confidently go forth into the next relationship knowing that that's not how it's going to end. Well, people have been doing that for a little while. At first we married for social advantage, or we traded some cows for, our daughter, and now I got 15 cows and you got a wife. And here's your endowment of some land, and now you're off and everyone's happy, right? It's a trade, it's a bargain. Or, you have the right bloodline and I'll get married to you and we'll unite these kingdoms. There's a social purpose to it. And then we learned to marry for love, somewhere down the line. And so, we found this chemical high of, oh, you're the most attractive person in the village, and we get married and we hope that that carries us on. And, maybe as that develops to modern days, we got to dating. We're like, okay, we learned that sometimes doesn't work out. And we learned about compatibility and values and all these other things. So we've got Tinder now. You're hot, you're not. You're hot, you're not. I don't know. I've never used Tinder before, actually, so I don't know which way to swipe. Hot, not. And then, a few come back, I think you're hot too, and you date them, and you've got 150 dates over the next 2 years, and, you pick the best. You're like, wow, of the 150 people that I dated through Tinder, you were the best, the most attractive, we had the best click, and we've got the best. You got a good vision for the future, and it kind of lines up. You're the, I can settle upon you because I know the other way is not as good. Well, you're going to realize too that you're not actually exactly completely satisfied with that existence. Okay, I settled for you. And there's a better way than that, and that's the way that Shaleia and I discovered by continually raising our consciousness in this area, by dating lots of people, by delving really deep into romantic relationships, by really getting to know ourselves and getting to know the people that we attracted to date and have romantic relationships with. We worked through this process. And we continually raised our standards to that which is in perfect alignment with our hearts, to perfect satisfaction. And we just said no to everything that was out of alignment. And eventually, our twin flame came. She found me, I found her, and we hit it off and we clicked. And your twin flame is, if you're in this channel, you probably know, but I'll explain it again. It is your ultimate lover, your perfect divine complement. This person is the epitome of satisfaction for you romantically, as a friend, as a partner, as a teacher, as a student, the perfect, eternal divine complement. The reason that you have desires for a person in all these areas is because that's who you desire. Like, the desire comes from you desiring that person. And you're going to see them and you're like, okay, yeah, I get that, but I really can't stand this shit about them. They do this annoying thing, and it's never going to work out between us. Well, you might have raised your consciousness to the level that you can recognize that person, or that you love that person, but maybe they don't love you back, right? There's going to be some thing that prevents you from having your perfect lover there. Well, in order to have your twin flame, you need to ascend your consciousness to a higher vibration. And you do that through only one activity, and it's self-love. And the only activity that prevents you from ascending is holding on, is resistance, is denying that love, is refusing to let that love carry you through it. And the way that you dissolve these upsets, these illusions, these resistances, these blocks that prevent you from having your perfect harmonious union with your true twin flame is you gotta look at the upset, right? And the first step in dissolving an illusion is looking at it piece by piece, and you pull it apart, and you're like, well, actually, I like this piece about it. Turn my hands, you can see. Actually, I like this piece about it, but this one's shitty, and then this one's really shitty too, and I actually don't like that. So I've got all these things clumped together, but in actuality, I don't want any of that, and I can let that go, and I can take this piece with me and include that into my vibration. And you're like, include it in your vibration? Take with you? Well, this is absurd. I don't know how to do this, but you do. You simply say, I like that, I want it. I don't like that, I don't want it. I move toward the thing that feels really good. I let go of and move away from the thing that doesn't feel good. Move away from doesn't mean, oh, I run away from fear, I'm fucked. No, actually, fear is an invitation to look at it. It's uncomfortable, you must look at it and make a new choice there. And when you do that, you dissolve it. We got a process that we teach in our book, Twin Flames Finding Your Ultimate Lover. You can find it in the link below. Not only is it an awesome, easy to read, juicy adventure of a book, it teaches the mirror exercise. And this singular tool is going to help you identify, where you're upset and you don't even know about it within yourself. Right? You've got no power to change anything outside of you. You can't make Bob stop farting on you at the office. We use this weird examples in Ascension School a lot. But you can change what's going on inside of you to attract that experience and be upset about it. And now maybe Bob just keeps on farting, but eventually you find a way to resolve it within yourself, and maybe your desk gets moved, or Bob gets moved, or you somehow find the smell isn't there. You're not really bothered by him. You just have compassion for a man who would just walk up and fart on you. How sad a person would do that. It's pretty disgusting. And you're able to move through that experience, and more times than not, when these egregious things are happening, but the bobs of your life fall away, and joy arises. So students in my school, our school, I say my because I see Shaleia and I as one being. Students in our school are not only experiencing deep leaps into more and more love, getting closer and closer to their harmonious unions, getting closer and closer to their twin flames, which, by the way, 4 weeks, 4 classes is the average for someone who hasn't met their twin flame to meet their twin flame through Ascension School. So that's the easy part, right? Raise your consciousness to that point. They're noticing not only great leaps in their twin flame journey, but in their careers, in their jobs, in their businesses, in their relationships, in their, in all aspects of their lives, all these things are improved. We had one student who came to us as a total bum and was jobless and was with a person for 15 years they didn't even want to be with, and they got rid of that person, kicked her out of her house, and has a really, really good job now where she's traveling all over the world, and it's really, financially supportive for her, and her relationship with her twin flame is improving, and their dialogue is beginning. So this is just one story out of many, 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 many stories in our Ascension School. And just in general, as a result of our work and doing this process of ascending your consciousness, that you ascend the state of your experience. So let me just give one more example in humanity before we wrap up this video. My purpose here, I do this in my life all the time. I'm like, you know, Shaleia and I used to live in a crappy little shithole in the ghetto, and now we live in a really nice upper middle class house. I'm sure you've seen the video on our YouTube channel. We give a tour of both of the places to give you the contrast of what it's like to ascend your consciousness from point shit to point awesome. And then what it's like to transition your consciousness from point awesome to point really, really awesome. There's no limit to the, you know, to this, there's no ceiling here, right? And new technologies will come through you to be created if your vibration is now that high, to allow that to be possible for you. Just like the new technology of TWIN FLAME Ascension School came through us to help you raise your consciousness to make this possible. We just have so much compassion. We're like, oh my God, no one knows how to do this. And no one's ever going to figure this out if we don't share this with them. And take them eons to figure this out. And we're just like some really motivated people that wouldn't take no for an answer and had no other, you know, direction to go but toward love. And we did, and this is what we found. And it's very real. Lots of people are experiencing it, and lots of people are finding a huge success on moving forward in this direction in their lives, and everything's changing for them for the better. Anything that you think can't change, and you might even be like, okay, well, maybe I could be open to this thing, but I'm not even going to consider bringing this up in my consciousness because this horrible thing has been so, you know, cringy for me my whole life. I don't think that'll ever change. Well, even that can change, you know. Come to our work. Invest your time in learning and in receiving what it is we're sharing. And, you know, your consciousness, your life, your whole life will benefit. Now, this is not a magic pill where you take it and suddenly you're sky high. Magic pills are just a lie that you tell yourself as you sweep things from one corner to the other corner. It's not real learning. It's not real growth. You're going to have a really clean corner and, oh my God, the magic pill. Okay, so we were at the mall today, and I'll give you an example of what it looks like. And this guy, we're at like the body shop, like getting some like, you know, face creams and some lotions or whatever. And he's like, oh, you gotta try this out. It's like this exfoliant, the skin peeling. He puts it on Shalea's hand, and he's like, yeah, it's gonna peel all your dead skin cells off. And he rubs it, and it's all these like little, you know, clumps start to show up. And supposedly there's just skin cells on her hand. She's like, oh my God. And I'm like, I don't know here. Like there's something a little weird, right? And she's like, you gotta try it. And he's like, oh yeah, men's hands tend to be even more. And I'm like, well, it's because there's more skin on my hand, like a bigger hand, right? You know, more surface. And I saw it and I'm like, I don't feel any of my skin peeling off. There's way too much junk there. So I looked it up and it was just like, you know, as the alcohol in the formula evaporates, you know, the coagulants in the thing, in the whatever, the cream start to coagulate up and it looks like your dead skin, but it's actually just, you know, a gimmick to get you to buy this crappy, you know, junk. You're shopping at the during the holiday seasons at the body shop, they had it at the front of the store at my mall. Don't buy into that crap. So that's what it looks like, a magic pill looks like. It's too good to be true, right? It is, if it's too good to be true. But what I'm offering is not too good to be true because actual change must occur within your consciousness, within your heart, within your being. Actual responsibility must be taken. These are very real principles. But when you use these real principles in the appropriate way, your life does change for the much better, for the much, much better in every facet, especially the ones you're focusing on. So thanks for watching the video. If you tell me more about what you liked about this video and what it helped you learn in the comments so it can help me create better videos for you guys. If you like this, subscribe, vote up the video, and you know, share it with your friends on your Facebook, on your, you know, your Twitter and stuff. That would be really cool because they would benefit from this great stuff as well. And of course, check out the link below. We've got tons of awesome materials, some of them free, some of them very inexpensive, excuse me, and some of them very, very in-depth, and all of them exquisitely valuable for changing your life for the better and manifesting your harmonious union, your perfect life. So, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a fabulous day, and we'll see you more in more videos. Take care.